Jennifer, you tell me, where do you want to start?
Well, we can start with the poll that I'm unable to open. So let's talk about that.
Okay, so this is a new poll. I think it's a Leger poll, is it not?
So I'm told.
Oh,
yes.
right, okay. And what it does show, we haven't talked about this. I want to thank Jim Menny for sending this along. It's pretty dramatic. It shows that the provincial Liberals now, believe it or not, have pulled into a dead heat with the CAQ. They're both at 21% and the PQ now at 30%. So you know what they say, Jennifer, if an election were held today, which it won't be, but if it were, pretty good turnaround for the provincial Liberals.
Well, it certainly is. Now, I mean, I'd like to see a couple of polls in the same direction to say that it's a tendency and a trend. But they are having a leadership race. It's underway. Their different candidates are they're doing different media outlets, including CJAD, obviously. And they're getting known. So, and also they're being a little bit more vocal in the National Assembly. So perhaps that's turning their fortunes around. So, I'm sure that's alarming François Legault because he does govern by polls.
It would seem, at least the explanation that I read, and again, this is a poll that just came out later in the afternoon. Beyond that, it seems a lot of this may have to do, capital may, with Donald Trump and the whole issue on tariffs and everything else is playing into the Liberals, not into the CAQ's hands.
Well, exactly, because I think people were already quite sick of François Legault. He's not shown himself to be really a friend to Quebec business. He hasn't made sound decisions on a lot of issues. We look at Northvolt and just as one glaring example, but there are a number of them. And when you look at the popularity of Pierre Saint-Pierre Plamondon, it's kind of the same with Poilievre, though. So we can kind of liken them. They sort of are finding themselves in a little bit in the wilderness with this whole Trump situation, because I mean, if all that Plamondon was going to talk about is a new referendum, I mean, don't you think it would be considerably easier for the United States to absorb the 51st state of Quebec rather than Canada in its entirety? So he's kind of, I mean, even though the numbers don't indicate that Quebecers are anywhere near a referendum, I think this is actually reinforced patriotism in a lot of people. I mean, it's kind of funny. I was talking to a former staffer from François Legault yesterday, and I was saying, just kind of laugh at it. I mean, he's waving the Canadian flag like we've never seen before. It's kind of ironic, right? But it could be definitely playing into it, and we've always known, I mean, as they've said, I mean, other than, François Legault saying that the PLQ is the party of the Anglos, I mean, the PLQ has traditionally been a business party, the business party, vis-a-vis the PQ, which is an op, and that was more of the social party. So this could actually definitely have an effect on that. I think it's having an effect on things across the country. I mean, even there's another, I think it's probably the same poll, but you see that the Liberals and the Conservatives are tied in Quebec. But I haven't gone into that poll, so I don't want to comment on it.
That number, the French support, if you will, the regional support has only gone up 2 points. They're still at 9%, which is pretty dismal, but it does show there's been a change. We'll talk more about that next time because, as I said, this poll came out rather late. Let's talk about, I took calls on Mark Carney earlier in the show. I heard the speech he delivered, or statement he made today. He was in Windsor, Ontario. I actually thought it was pretty good, more than I've heard from him really since this whole leadership race started. I don't know how much of it you heard. What did you think?
Well, I heard stuff that you played, and I heard some of the calls, and I heard what you had to say. So I will agree with you 100%. He did sound prime ministerial. And unlike you, was a partisan Liberal. So, I'm going to say that, but I'm not involved in the race. I will vote. I'm no longer involved. I've retired my leadership hat. But one thing, yes, he had a great speech. I would work on maybe a little bit of the tone, but that's something to work on. I mean, you can put a little bit more enthusiasm. But I sent something over to Dean it was kind of to juxtapose what you were saying, and it was a kind of rather nasty little piece that appeared in the National Post that my mom sent me this morning. Thanks, Mom. And it was talking about how basically your astroturfing Mark Carney, the people that are behind Justin Trudeau, essentially, and that they're making him into something that he's not. And it refers back to his time as when he was the central banker for Canada, and he was referred to frequently back in that era as the rock star banker. And then this writer goes on to say that the only rock star in this race is Pierre Poilievre. Now, look, Aaron, I mean, I don't know about you. Well, I do know about you because you like music as much as I do. I'm not replacing my Mick Jagger posters with posters of Pierre Poilievre anytime soon. So if he's thinking that Pierre Poilievre has somehow cultivated a rock star image, I don't know what kind of, it's in BC, so maybe there's really good stuff out there. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the Carney, they're getting worried. I think they're getting very concerned about Carney. But as the speech that you played indicates, he's talking to all Canadians. And I heard some of your callers calling in that were non-liberal identified, and that they were saying that he's the man, l'homme de la situation.
Yeah, look, it's early. There's no question. They're not going to have a leader picked till March 9th, I guess, right? So we still have a long and a month is forever, the way this thing is going right now. So, yeah, it's early, but I was maybe by rocks, or maybe the rock was in quotation marks, Jennifer. So that could be like Gilbert O'Sullivan, or that's a bad reference.
Could be.
Very bad reference on my part. Okay, look, what is this Canada-U.S. summit coming up on Friday? What's this all about?
Well, this is going to be very interesting. So what's going to happen in Toronto, and what's going to happen is the Prime Minister, who I just want to take a little sidebar and just say, I think that he's coming out of this looking very, very, very good. And there was an article in the Journal earlier this week, and I'll just translate the title from by José Legault, Trudeau can leave with his head held high, which I concur with 100%. So what he's doing is he's convening representatives from the political area, the industry, and labor. And what they're going to be doing is they're going to be talking about the diversification of export markets. And I know that you talked about this earlier a bit with Jim, of different types of places that we could possibly export. I mean, Benoit Charette and the gas and all of that stuff. And also, this is very important to reduce and remove inter-provincial trade barriers, because I think a lot of Canadians would be quite alarmed to learn how difficult it is for provinces to do business with each other. And so this is going to do everything. So what's ended up happening with this, and I think that Trump has done us a favor in a sense that it has woken us up, but what it's provided, and it's really fascinating because, I mean, I geek out on stuff like this, but it's shown everybody at their best, with the exception of Danielle Smith. I heard her earlier speaking with Vashi Kapelos, and she sounded like a Trump mouthpiece. It was shocking. So with the exception of Danielle Smith, everybody's bringing their A game to the table for Canada. And it's refreshing. And I don't think that I've felt this patriotic as a born and bred Quebecer in my entire life.
Yeah, which is funny. There's that great meme that's been going around saying, you get an idea of just how serious this whole Canadian unity thing is when even Quebecois are joining sort of the Canadian side, if you will. So, yeah, that's how we have become unified. And we can thank Donald Trump for that, because it's pretty obvious this would not have happened if not for what's been going on in Washington since he was president.
Well, exactly. I mean, it's not even been 2 full weeks, and it's just insane. And he's now moved on to other things, which you'll speak about with your guests later. We have come across this. There's another meme that's really funny, and it's one of Justin Trudeau and Claudia Sheinbaum, and basically it's him on the telephone saying, "Hey, we got them to get rid of tariffs by saying we're doing something that we were already doing," and she's like, "Yeah, same." It's really cute. I'll find it.
There's a couple of these. Another one pretending to be Justin Trudeau on that phone call, saying, "How much do you need?" He said, $200 million done, and then Donald Trump hung up and said, "Okay, I got what I wanted." But anyway, look, we can make light of it now. This is only a 30-day reprieve. But again, given the way things are happening, the speed by which things are happening, you kind of have to wonder in 30 days or 29 days from now, what's next? Because every time Donald Trump brings up something new, last time it was the whole banking thing, right? When he mistakenly, or I don't know if he didn't know or did know, said, how come Canadian or American banks are not allowed to operate in Canada, when, of course, we know they are. In fact, half the foreign banking done in this country is done by American banks. There are at least 16 of them operating here. So what does he want? Does he want us to relax the rules on banking so American banks can come in here? Is that the next ask? Nobody knows.
Well, we don't really know. I mean, it could be anything. It depends on how he wakes up in the morning. I think he talks about tariffs, and it's obvious that uses that as almost the sole policy tool in his quiver. I mean, it's sort of, I think, shocking at how he doesn't seem to know a lot of things that he should know as president of the United States, like, about international law and about different things like that. And, maybe check your facts. And
check your facts. Did you say check your facts? For Donald Trump?
I'm a political scientist. I'm sorry, Aaron.
What is wrong with you? You know what? It's funny. As you said that, I thought to myself, imagine tariffs. That was the word last week, right? The week before. And in another couple of weeks, what will they be forgotten and he'll be on to something else? You're right. We absolutely have no idea. But you know what? We're ready, at least to some degree. And that was a great, I use the word over and over again, a great wake-up call for Canada. So thank you to Donald Trump for that. Jennifer, thank you so much. Appreciate it.